In today's tutorial, let's go Dotty together. We're going Dotty with this brand new hat by yarnspirations.com. Let's go over this in just a moment. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going Dotty, and this is going Dotty hat, and we're going to do polka dots. I saw this in December before everybody else got to see it, and I love this hat. I think it's kind of a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun with the colors. So I had Daniel actually pick me some colors, and he went for this. Isn't that just crazy fun? So this color over here, it's not colors that I would have chosen for myself, but this is a taupe, and then of course the Simply Soft Brights line. This is really quite neon, and this hat is going to be quite amazing. So let's just go over a little bit of the pattern next. So going over the pattern today, what you're going to need today is a 5mm size H crochet hook. You need 3 different colors that you can see here. This Simply Soft lines is what they have. They have Ocean, Robin's Egg, and Pumpkin all working together. And of course the pom-pom, you can do that afterwards on your own as well. Comes with a key here on how the dots all line up together, and it's kind of like Grafghan work. And if you look really carefully in this, you can actually see how the yarn is being carried throughout this project. The ribbing of the hat is very, very easy in the sense that it's not the slip stitching that we've seen in other hats. It's actually very easy and it goes really quickly. I've actually already done this already in advance. Isn't that nice? Really quite sharp, and we're gonna be doing that, and then we're gonna get in and start doing all of this work, and I'm going to show you some techniques involved in being able to do that as well. So here's a blown up photo of the hat, and what we have, if you look really carefully, you can see how the pumpkin is carrying underneath of the color blue, and it's inside the stitches, and it just travels along until you need it again, and then it pops up, and then you see the blue is in the side of the pumpkin. Now some people, what they do is they drop the yarn completely, and then you end up with these long loops in behind the hat, and then you pick it up again, and you can do that if you wish, if you want these to be completely just the color without any of the other colors sinking through. That's your own creative choice and what you need to do in order to make that. So that is just something I'll show you how to do that, and I'll leave that to you for how you're going to do it as well. So I guess first thing first, let's start on the brim. The brim is really easy to make, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So here's my brim, and it's 21 inches long, and what this is doing, this is half double crochets working on the horizontal bar. What is the horizontal bar? Well, we've done this kind of stuff before, and it makes it look like that it has a line of knitting going up, and it's basically reversible, so you can go either side if you wish. So I'm going to show you with green, because green is easier to see the horizontal bar than it is with the taupe. So we're going to start off with a slip knot and use your 5mm size H crochet hook today. We're going to insert the slip knot onto the hook. Remember, that never counts as one. So we're going to chain 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I know what you're thinking at this point. Look at all of that. Is that really the brim? No, it's gonna shrink down on its own, and you'll be seeing that happen in just a moment. For row number 1, you're going to go to the 3rd chain from the hook. So go 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to wrap the hook and make this into a half double crochet into that chain. Just like that, and you're going to half double crochet yourself all the way across your chain. So the first row is easy, just half double crochet across, just like this. And when we do row number 2, row number 2 will be the repeat for the whole thing, is that we're going to start playing then in the horizontal bar of the half double crochet. And where is that? Well, you can't see it on the side, so you only see it when you're looking at the other side when you're going to do it. So you're just gonna half double crochet yourself across. You will have a total of 10 half double crochets by the time you come all the way across only. And that number 10, I would count that as you're working on your project, because it makes a huge difference if you start losing your place. So this is what it looks like at this point. Let's go to row number 2. So in row number 2, there's a diagram that says half double crochet in the horizontal bar, and this is what this is asking you to do. So what it's telling you is that it's showing you where to grab the stitch. Okay, so the top here is the regular stitch, but it's a horizontal bar that's just slightly underneath it. So let me show you where that is on the project. So I'm going to turn my work and just turn it, and the horizontal bar is actually right in front of you. So the stitch, the regular stitch is on the top here, but the horizontal bar is actually right here in this section right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and we're gonna play within the horizontal bar. So we're just gonna come down and just kind of space it out if you have to. Okay, and what we need to do is that every stitch counts. So there's gonna be a total of 10, and the first chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet. So we're going to wrap the hook and we're going to insert into the horizontal bar and half double crochet. Okay, so when you look at it from the other side, you can see that the stitch, see it's actually facing out. So what you're going to do, once you get the first one, then the rest of them are pretty easy. You just move along and just grab the next one. Okay, so I'm going to count. So this is 3 because the first chaining of 2 counted as one of them, and so you want a total of 10. Now when I was doing this, I wasn't counting, and I was actually starting to add more, or I was dropping. So I would just get in the habit when you're just going across, just count. It's just easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then continue in the horizontal. Once you can physically see it in your mind and you see it on the stitch work, it becomes really easy. Just starting each row is always kind of a little bit of a it just is a matter of getting used to. So in the very end there's a horizontal bar on the very end as well. So let's just count and make sure. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So that's perfect. So we turn our work and we keep moving up, and we need a total. See, in the horizontal bar created this what appears to be a knit line. So we're going to chain up 2, which is your 1 of 10, and go into the next horizontal bar. Okay, so do you see this is the next stitch here, and it's just right there. Okay, so that was number 2, and you keep moving along, and you'll notice that this is gonna go pretty fast. So if you're confident in yourself, you don't need to count, but if you start seeing you're getting all wonky, whether you're losing stitches or gaining, you're going to notice pretty quickly, and then you can just keep count. But I did count mine, I have to say. I was kinda getting paranoid if you ask me. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means I got 2 more left, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the last one there. Okay, so and then just turn your work, chain 2. Okay, and then get the first one up. Okay, so what I need you to do is I need you to do the same thing going all the way until this band gets 22 inches long without stretch. Okay, so just don't stretch it when you go to measure it. Just get it to 22 inches long, and when we come back I'll show you what to do, and I'm gonna bring up my taupe version, and then I'm going to start getting into the body of the hat next. Just like this. Isn't that neat? It really is neat. It's a neat stitch. And make sure you get yours all the way across. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then get that last one in like that, 10. So that's what it looks like on the back side. Okay, so continue to do that, and we'll start on securing this first, and then we'll move on to the body of the hat. So I have my 22 inches just like you see here, and I'm just gonna finish up the last one, so I'm done. And what I'm going to do is just pull the strand through, and it's kind of gonna lock onto itself, and what I'm going to do is feed this string into a darning needle. So unlike other hats that we've done where we've had to slip stitch ourselves in order to close the join, on this particular design they're asking us to sew it shut. So when we go to sew it shut, we just have to match, okay, across from each other. And so I'm going to go into the first stitch this side and the first stitch on the other side. Just make sure it's not twisted on you. Make sure it's nice and flat, and just whip stitch it together. So just going over to the first one, over to the next one, and etc. and whip stitch your hat seam together. So when I come back we're gonna start with the body of the hat, so just get this whip stitched and then we'll move on. When you get all the way to the sewing of it and then you're at the end, what you just need to do is just kind of just be very nice about it, but just kind of make it so it kind of loops into each other like a little knot. And then what I would do is just glide it through underneath some of the fibers. Okay, so under the fibers in one direction. I have a loose end hanging out here. This is from the start. And then glide it again, coming in a different spot but very close to it, in a different set of fibers back in that other direction. So if you glide it through 3 times, it'll never fall out on you. So then glide it back in a different spot, but very close to it. And so what this means then is that I can literally cut that string right down and you'll never see the loose ends popping out. Like so. Now this is a starting string that I had in there. So what I can do is that it's pretty short. So what I can just do is just put my needle in without feeding it first, because I've left it way too short for myself. And what I can just do is then just feed this through the needle. See, even us trained professionals we even do silly things like this. I should have actually made this a lot longer, the starting strand. Okay, so once I get that in, all I can just do is just pull it through like so, stretch it back out like that, and then I can just safely trim that as well. So let's get ready and we're going to do the main body of the hat. So let's prepare for the main body of the hat. So we have our seam line in here. Did I lose it already? No, it's right there. So what we want to do is look at the good side of this. So if one side doesn't look as good as the other, if the seam line doesn't work for you, then just turn it to the side that you want to look at. Okay? So looking at means that somebody, when they're looking at you, they're going to be seeing that side. So now you're going to grab your color B. It says color B, and color B is the main colors. In this case, if you're looking at the pattern, it's that robin's egg blue. So I'm going to use neon, of course, because I'm crazy. So what we want to do is that we want to join it to where the seam line is. And when you go to join it, you gotta make sure that you have at least 2 strands on top. So when you go all the way around, you have to fit in 72 stitches going all the way around. So let's just try to get this in first. It's a little tight. So we want to get 72 stitches in this. So my point being is that you may not get every row is not 1 stitch, right? So you have to actually kind of figure it out, and sometimes it takes a couple, maybe 2 or 3 tries in order to get it right. So once you join it, just chain 1 first, and you just have to squeeze it in. But every time you go into the side here, make sure you get at least 2 strands to be on top of the hook. If you get only 1, it will be very clear that when it's being worn that it doesn't look like it's really attaching very well. So if you get at least 2 strings on the top, it looks a lot better. So what I want you to do is put in 72 of these single crochets. So in this case, see, instead of the 1 strand on top, I want to at least get in 2 and just make that work. So get in 72 of these single crochets going all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around, and I have to do my last one in, and I'm just kind of working out how it's all gonna just come into play. And once I get my last one in, I just want to join it to the beginning slip stitch, or the beginning one, single crochet that we started with. Okay, so that becomes that, and it actually only took me 1 round of getting used to these kind of hats. So it's just kind of equally spaced. It may not be perfect, but nothing in life ever is. But if you do a great enough job, it can be pretty close. So let's move on to round number 2. So round number 2 is a very simple round. We're continuing with the same color. We chain 1, and we do 1 single crochet in the first one. And then we're doing 1 single crochet into each of the single crochets all the way around. That's all this round is. So 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So I'm coming up to the very end of this round, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet that we started with. Now here's the interesting thing. We're going to start doing the pattern next. So I was just reading off camera is that the actual dot area is combinations of doing coming back around, turning the hat, and then going back the other direction. So we're gonna go back and forth for this particular design. And because of that, it's going to work out pretty cool. So in the next one, we're going to start doing the chart work, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So we have the diagram here, and what we're going to start off with now is that we're going to start off with my neon, and then we're going to change over to the next color for 3 boxes, and then we're going to go to the next one here. And so we just have to kind of play with this idea in order to get the pattern to work out pretty good. Now you'll notice that the middles consist of 3 boxes that are 1 color. So you see here, when you see it up here, you'll see that there's 2 on this side. The 3rd one is on this side as we come up all the way around. So what we want to do is just look at the box here and just make sense of it, and I'm gonna show you the first part here and just make it a lot easier for us to follow along. So off camera what I've done is that once we get past the polka dot area we need to go back to the regular color of the blue in this case. So I figured out that there's 9 boxes between this blue the last of the pumpkin, so there's gonna be 9. So you only see 5 on this side, but the other 4 are on the other side when you go to repeat this pattern. So if this graph is like repeating itself over and over all the way around. In the next row, number 3, there's going to only be 7 of the blue then stopping. So there's 3 on this side, there's 4 on this side, and there's 3 on the other. And then once right in the middle there's 3 of them rows high. They're all gonna be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it gets up here. So what you're looking at here is that it becomes really quite easy to be able to count as we go all the way across. And so the same thing exists up here. So you can see that there's gonna be 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9, 7, and 5. And then 7 and 9 again. So it just makes a lot of sense if you can just count those boxes before the next one begins. So back to the project here, let's start our first one. So we're gonna chain up 1 first, and we're going to put 4 of these boxes in, but we have to watch the 4th one. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to start the 4th, but we're not gonna finish it. So in order to do the 4th one, what we have to do is that we have to bring on our next color. And this is the start of the polka dot area. And the final, the 4th, you have to pull the color that you want to be next. Okay, so you need to then drop the neon down underneath, and now we're gonna start the polka dots. Okay, so then the next 3 have to be the polka dots. So we just start the next one, and you're gonna have to pull things a little bit tight right in the beginning when you go to change colors. So we have 1, 2, and this is the 3rd one, and we don't want to finish it because the next one is going to be the neon. So you drop the neon pink down, and you bring up the neon in. So leaving down then the top of the pink one here, and we want to go in. Remember what I said, it's 9. So we're just gonna immediately come to the next one. So we're gonna go 1. Now the thing about it is they gotta make sure that you pull these strings tight as you go. I did this way back in the early days of the Crochet Crowd, and I didn't pull as tight as I should have, and I ended up with a mess. So we needed 9. So we got 1 already in. So 2, 3, and I'm gonna let the straggler fall out of the way so I don't have to bury that in any further. So the trick is that when you go to change these yarns, they have to be handy for you, but you don't want to be tangled up in yarn either. So you're keeping that yarn strand that you're going to need in the future just right down on top, and you're getting rid of that straggler out of the way. It's the only time you really have to worry about that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is the 9th. So you go into the 9th, pull up, and then drop that one and bring back your neon again, your neon pink. They're both neon. I don't know what I keep saying that. So now we're going to start another polka dot. Okay, so let's just pull things tight again, and we're gonna go for another 3. So that's all you have to do, is that you just have to kind of watch this as you go. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then oh, that 3rd one I cannot finish it. Oops, 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 oops. You pull that out and finish it off with that green like that. Okay, so that's all you have to do on this particular round. So this is kind of the round of the start. So the next 9 are going to be all the neon yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And don't finish 9. Pull back up that pink up, and then the next 3 are going to be that pink one. So just keeping that neon down. So some people in GraphCam, what they like to do is that you can see it a little bit coming through, but you can drop it completely on behind if you wish. But you should know that if you do drop it, you're gonna have this whole distance of a loose string hanging off in the inside of your hat. And it may not be a deal breaker for you, but if you've got children wearing something like this, it might not be a good idea. So I have to have 3 of those, so I have to finish off with the yellow once again, and I keep going all the way around. So make sure that you got a yellow, that there's 9 in a row, and then there's 3 here, and this is what it looks like, and you see what it looks like on the inside as well. So carry on and keep doing that all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around on this round, the first round, and I want to make sure, if you remember, that there's 4 before the next polka dot starts when you go to restart. So on this side there should be only be 5 to be able to finish. Okay, so you got to make sure, remember how we said there's 9 in between these polka dots. So 5 are here and 4 are on this side, and when you're done that, just slip stitch to the top of the first one, let that pink fall out of the way. Okay, just slip stitch to the top, and what we need to do then is that we need to turn our project. So we're going to turn our project this time and go in this direction, so we don't continuously go around in the same way. The reason for that is that if you continue to go around, these polka dots will actually be leaning on their side and not sitting on top of each other. So let's begin the next round, and let's just quickly look back at the pattern, and I'm going to leave this whole idea with you on what we need to do, but I'll just show you how to get started again, and then you can do the rest of it going all the way to the top for me. So now that we got our first round done, we move up to the next one, and you see it's number 3 here. So number 3, there's 3 boxes, that will be the neon, and then the next 5 then will be the polka dot, and then it'll be 7 this time between the polka dot spaces, and that's all we need to worry about. So let's begin to do that process. So we're now looking at the back side of the project. We're ready for the next one. So if you look at these 3 are going to be neon if you're looking at it from the polka dot point of view. The next one on both sides then will be a neon added and a neon added. So you can just kind of work backwards to what you see here. So we're going to chain 1, which I've already done, and so then the first 3, okay, are going to be these neon ones, or sorry, it's going to be neon yellow. Okay, so let's begin to do that. So we're just going to do 1, 2 and 3, but we don't finish that, and what we're going to do is we'll bring on the neon again. Sorry, I keep saying neon. We want to make sure that this carries up on the inside as well, so that when I want to go start it, and then we can just bury the yellow underneath. So we just keep that yellow now on top. So the next 5 are going to be all this color. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Just like this. So now the 5th one's in, so we just change it back to finish and drop that pink one down. So you can either count it out, and there's a total of 7 stitches between here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, or you can just look where the neon is and say that you know you have to do the one before and the one after, and you can look at it that way. And the lazy side of me would say that's what I would do. So we can just do 7 though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So I don't want to finish 7, I just want to finish it with the pink and drop that neon green down. Okay, so the next 5 then will be the polka dot. So what I want you to do is I want you to do this complete stitch work all the way. You see that there's 33 rows going up of this, and you just follow that diagram just exactly how I showed you, and you will be successful. And then after you get the diagram done all the way to the top, what we're going to do is then start doing the decreasing, and the decreasing is really easy. So this is kind of the hardest part of the whole thing, of just adding and dropping your yarn. So now that you got your 5th one in there, don't finish it, change it back, and then just hide that pink one back in. So that's what you need to do on this whole concept, and continue to do that, and when I come back then I'll be near close to the top, and then we'll show you what to do from that point. I want to show you something on here before you go any further. So you'll notice that you see how you have a line here, it looks like it's out of place on the polka dot. That's because of the way that it shows. Okay, that's the way the stitch goes in. So you're going to notice it, see, it's right here. Okay, so it's gonna look like it's wrong when you're doing it, but you gotta stick with it, because when you go to add more stitches it causes that look to happen. It causes one to kind of stand out on its own like that, and so if you think you're doing it wrong, you're not. It's part of the idea with crochet, so it's just comes with the territory. So continue to do the whole thing back up to the remainder of the graph, and then we'll be back and I'll show you how to decrease after that point. So just one more thing. So what's gonna happen here is that you're going to see it all coming up, and there is one line in this whole thing that is blue, so right in between, so 1 and 2. So what's gonna happen when you go to do that is that you just gotta let the color, the polka dot color just sit where it is for one revolution, and then pick it back up when you go to start the next round, which will be round number 10 when you go to see it once again. And then you can clearly see that right when you go to start it, you'll be on the neon first, and then you'll just carry on so that the polka dots kind of go opposite to each other, kind of like a hexagon, like a honeycomb together. So just watch for that and just drop your color and just do a whole revolution of the blue, and then pick it back up when you go to do the next one. Now I'm back and I have my polka dots done. There's 3 high, and I had to do a little bit of counting, but everything worked out pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it, and front and back. Now I want to show you the inside. The inside is not as pretty, and you can tell where I've jumped over, especially in the slip stitching area, but that's on the inside of the hat, so I didn't have to worry about that too much. So I was very conscientious of what was my inside and what was my outside when I was doing it, and I found with myself is that when I was working on it, I would flip the hat inside out when I was going in one direction, then put it back to the way that you see it here. So I've now finished with my polka dot pink, and I'm just going to just put this through a darning needle. It's completely done for the project, so I'm just gonna hide it in and tie it off, and let's start doing the top. And there's 10 rows for doing the top, and let me just fasten this, and let me show you how to do that quickly. So once you're done that, just grab your darning needle once again, and if I could find it, I'd be even happier. So here we go. And I'm just gonna put it in. So remember that what I kind of showed you with the brim already is that if you put it in the project 3 times. So I don't want to put it through to the project that you're gonna see it on the front side of this. So I'm just gonna put it through to the pink area. Okay, so I'm just gonna glide it through just so it stays on the inside, just through some fibers. And if you go in 3 different directions like I promised you before, it'll stay permanently into position. So that was 2 of the 3, and just go one more time. Okay, so then that pink is now in, just like so. And so now we're gonna be ready for the top. I've not fastened off my neon yet, and I don't plan on to because I'm actually at the start. But for the remainder of the hat, let's just take a look quickly at the directions. So we've been going back and forth so on this, and we do have a slip stitching line. Let me show you that here. My slip stitch is right here. Isn't that fabulous? You can barely see it. It's awesome. So let's just quickly review the top of the instructions now. For the top of the instructions, what I'm going to do then is when I go to start up, I have not fastened off for when I was going back and forth, but we're going to go in a complete revolution at this time. So we're never gonna turn back and forth like we did. We're just gonna keep going around and around. And I wanna look at it from the side that's the good side, which is this part right here. So let's begin. We're going to chain 1, and it says in the instructions, says 1 single crochet in each of the next 7, and then 2 together. So let's do that. So we're gonna, the first 7 are gonna be by themselves, so single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And once you get your 7, put the next 2 together. So how to do that is that you insert in, pull through, into the next one, pull through, so now you have 3 loops on your hook, and just pull through all 3. And that's 2 together. So what you have to do for this complete round is just a repeat of that. So there's gonna be 7 in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then the next 2 are together. So please do that repeat pattern going all the way around for round number 1 of shaping the top. So I'm coming up all the way back around. I just finished 2 together right where my thumb is here. So I've already done 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and the final 2 in the revolution will be 2 together. So do those 2 together and then just join to the first single crochet that you started with. So now we've just eliminated one single crochet stitch every now and then throughout this line. So this is round number 1. Let's move on to round number 2. Round number 2, chain 1 single crochet into every one going all the way around. So the way that this hat seems to be working, in my opinion, when I look at the instructions in advance, is that it's taking its time of closing at the top so it has a nice smooth transition. So round number 2, we're just gonna do 1 single crochet all the way around. I'm finishing up round number 2 of shaping the top. So when you get to the end, just slip stitch to the beginning single crochet to finish. Let's move on to round number 3. We're instantly going to just chain 1, and this time we're going to do a 2 together once again to bring things to a conclusion. So we chained 1, the first 6 are going to be by themselves, so 1 single crochet. So this is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next 2 are together. So just put them together and then go 6 again. So this is the repeat pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the next 2 are together. So please continue to do that same pattern going all the way around. Coming up all the way around on number 3, the final 6 are going to be by themselves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you have 2 stitches left, and that's 2 together. So that concludes off round number 3. So just join it to the beginning single crochet. So let's move up to round number 4. Round number 4 is quite easy. It just it's the same as number 2. So chain 1 single crochet into each one of the stitches going all the way around. That's round number 4. Please 1 single crochet in each all the way around. Coming up all the way around on number 4, we're just 1 single crochet into each all the way around, and then we just have to just join to the beginning. So what we have in the next round here is that we have round number 5. Round number 5 is quite straightforward. We're going to chain 1, and it says 1 single crochet in each of the next 5. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the next 2 are together. So that's the repeat pattern for this round. So there's gonna be 5 singles in a row and then 2 together. What we're gonna have now from the remainder of this hat, we're gonna get aggressive and start really closing this thing off. So there's gonna be no more rounds that actually are nice and lazy. So we're going to be doing 2 together for the remainder. So make sure you do that. So 5 in a row and then 2 together for this round. This is round number 5. Concluding round number 5, I've already got my 5 singles, and the final 2 are 2 together. So let's just join that to the beginning, and let's move on to round number 6. Just chain up 1, and let me just quickly look. It's 1 single crochet in the next 4. So we're gonna start off with 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next 2 are together. So that's this round for round number 6. 4 by themselves and then 2 together. Please do that now. I'll meet you at the end of this round. 1. Final round of 6 is just their last 2 are together. So there's been 4 in a row and then the last 2 are together. Join it with the slip stitch to the beginning, and let's start on row number 7. So row 7 is easy, and they're all easy. And chain 1, and the next 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and then the next 2 are together. So that's the repeat pattern for number 7. 3 by themselves and then 2 together. Please do that now. I'll see you at the end of this round. Coming up all the way around, we had 3 in a row, and the final 2 are together for round number 7. So now it's really starting to zip, isn't it? It's awesome. So let's begin round number 8. 8 looking over. It's chain 1, 1 single crochet in each of the next 2. So 1 and 2 in a row, and then of course what's next? 2 together, of course. So the next 2 are together. So the repeat pattern is 2 by themselves. So 1 1 crochet 2 times in a row, and then the next 2 is 2 together. Sorry about that. And I'll see you at the end of this round. Okay, the end of the round. Number 8 was 2 together. Of course, we had 2 in a row and then 2 together, and then we just join it to the top. So let's move on to round number 9. So we're getting a smaller and smaller hole that you can see. So number 9, let's chain up 1. It says 1 single crochet in the next. Okay, and then the next what does it say? 2 together in the next. So the repeat pattern for number 9 is 1 single crochet by itself, and then the next 2 are together. So please do that now. That's round number 9, and I'll see you at the end of this round. End of round number 9, there was 2 together. I've already shown you how to do that quite a few times. So let's just join it to the top of the beginning single crochet. So round number 10, easy, easy, easy. Let's just join. Okay, so you're gonna chain 1, and every one is gonna be 2 together. So just going into the same start with your same stitch, 2 together. So 1 and 2, and then the next 2 are together, just making sure I'm getting them all right. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So please do that all the way for round number 10, and then after this I'm gonna show you how to close this off, and then you just have to do a pom-pom if you wish. If you don't want a pom-pom, that's up to you. It's your creativity, it's your ideas. A beautiful neon pink pom-pom on this would be amazing, I think, as well. So continue to do this, 2 together all the way around. So come up all the way around, and that's it. So I'm just gonna slip stitch to the beginning one, and I'm still left with the small little hole at the top. So what I want to do is I want to cut this yarn, and I want to pull this yarn out. Okay, so I'm still left with the little hole. So I'm going to use my darning needle at this point and start gathering the remainder edges. So let's feed that needle, and continuing in the same direction that I was crocheting in, I'm just gonna feed it underneath some fibers around that edge. And what we're going to do is that I'm going to feed them in, and then I'm gonna yank on this and pull it shut. It's a great way to do it. You'll have a nice finish. It'll pull it in nice and finished at the top. I don't pull it until I'm all the way around to make sure I get it in. Okay. Okay, so there's my hole. So I'm just gonna pull it all shut. So then I'm going to go diagonally across the hole. Just don't want to stab myself. This color looks like it's literally a light turned on. It's amazing. It's part of the Caron Simply Soft Neon Brights kind of, it's called Brights for Simply Soft, and it really truly is bright. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm just securing it a few times, and then once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to put it down through the middle, and I'm going to turn the hat inside out. I'm just gonna safely grab it so I don't stab myself. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull the needle through, and then I'm just gonna tie it on the inside here, and I'm going to run this fiber into some fibers on the inside. It doesn't go on to the outside, and go in 3 different directions like I've already shown you twice already before, and you will completely trim in your ends. You don't have to worry about it falling out. So all you have left to do is just do a pom-pom, and this is a really cool hat, like really cool. So I just gotta secure in some loose ends right at the very beginning. Actually, that's already been secured. So yeah, so here is my hat. So this is this is going Dotty. It's a really kind of a neat hat. I think it would look better with a pom-pom, but again, that's your creativity and up to you. There are tutorials on how to make pom-poms available here on YouTube in our channel, so you just gotta stay tuned for that. And until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as thecrochetcrowd.com. Thank you so much, and I hope that you go Dotty making this going Dotty hat today. Until next time, we'll see you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.